and welcome to an episode of Benchwarmers Basement Banter. We're going to do something a little bit different than we have been. We've been covering a lot of playoffs. We've been covering a lot of draft stuff. Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs?
Yeah. So
we're not talking playoffs here.
We've been, for the most part, always had a pretty specific agenda to a certain sport and everything like that when we've done. This time we're going to talk a little bit more of our player analysis. We're going to be doing a little bit of homage to a man that has dropped off a little bit in his career.
We're going to talk about greatness.
We're going to talk about greatness.
Great player.
A greatness and perhaps what could turn into what could have been.
Exactly. Great player, not the best health resume here. But we're going to talk about the one and only Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout. I love this guy. It helps that I picked him up in fantasy way back in 2012 when he came up.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. I'm going to love him forever. My guy.
It's a pretty good guy to love forever.
It really is. Yeah, it was. He was just electric. Took the world by storm. The power, the speed, that literally does it all. The over the wall, bring the ball back. He just OBP, he got on base. There was not a weakness in this guy's game.
I remember in the beginnings of his career, the first 5 years, thinking that a guy that big should not be able to move that fast.
Yeah, right. You'd think a guy that big would strike out more too.
No.
He had I'm saying.
The guy has and had more so then than now the whole package.
MLB The Show, you made a guy. I was like, make him like Mike Trout. He would hit bombs. That's funny we're saying all this because I didn't see this guy play at the beginning of his career. I was born in 92. Comparison here is King Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of comps. Unfortunately now, the comp is the injury. The career parallel.
The comp is more now it's the Bo Jackson.
It's
it's the Bo Jackson, the mythical, the perfect,
I see.
The everything's great until the injury.
Yeah. But with Griffey and Trout, both, it was in their 20s, was just which Griffey ended up being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Trout will too.
Yeah.
But it was gonna home run record. Gonna never seen anything like it. And then all of a sudden, age 30 hit. And it just you flipped a switch. The injury started. Yeah, you did. Which a part of it, the way they played. Both of them, balls to the walls, dive, run, everything, complete player. But injuries caught up to them. And it's kind of crazy, I think, when you look at their numbers and stuff. They were they both came up crazy young.
I don't think that Griffey ever hit for the average that what Trout does. I think Griffey was always a 270, 280 hitter, wasn't he?
No, in his prime, he hit over 300.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I think his career average, I don't have it in front of me. But
286, I believe.
Okay, 286. Well, Trout's at 299.
Yeah.
Pretty comparable. Griffey had the edge in home runs, though. If you look at it, Trout had a better OBP. Griffey had the counting numbers. He had the home runs.
Yeah, 660 home runs, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe.
You're right. Trout's at 378, I think it is now. So, not even near it. But year by year, Trout's career high was in the 40s. Griffey was 58, 56.
Yeah.
A little more pop. But, we're nitpicking on it. They both were top of the league in that. Trout had a little more average. He walked more than Griffey.
Yeah.
Had a little more speed, too, in his prime. That fell off quick.
I believe that in one of his MVP seasons that Trout stole 47 bags or something
he did.
that.
Oh, yeah. I think that was his first year he came up.
Yeah.
It was nuts. And, and the defense, too, the way they played. This blows my mind that Trout has 0 gold gloves. We were talking about that before the show. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Joey Gallo has 2, though.
I was going to say, pop quiz. Look at these guys that are 1 and 4. I would have never guessed Joey Gallo. Adam Jones, I could remember that. Center fielder with Baltimore. I was he was pretty dang good. But who was the other random guy other than Gallo?
Adam Jones took one from him. He had a good year in Baltimore.
Yeah, Alex Gordon won a bunch.
Alex Gordon won 3, I believe.
Yeah, he was a given. He was great. Which I wish they'd give center fielders more love in those. But that was a difference in Trout and Griffey. Griffey won, I think it was 11?
Yeah.
10. Sorry, 10. Both of them, 11-time All-Star Trout, 13 for Griffey. The Silver Sluggers, Trout's won 9.
That's not bad.
That's pretty dang good. That's pretty good. It's almost every year he can hold a bat and hit, he's going to win it. Griffey won 7.
On pace for run this year until.
And what happened? Another injury.
A pretty different
meniscus,
one for him.
knee.
Yeah. You know all about that meniscus.
Been there, done that. Not fun, yeah. Well, story, if your knee swells and your wife tells you to go to the doctor, you should go to the doctor, not try to play on it. Learn that the hard way. But yeah, Trout's got him in MVPs. He's won 3. Griffey's won 1.
Yeah.
So, but we could all day make the comparisons.
And I believe his first 5 seasons, he could have easily won 5.
Yeah,
he was top 3 in MVP votings. I believe his first 6 seasons in the MLB.
It would help if his team didn't suck.
Yeah.
That was part of it. And I honestly, the MLB was loaded in the 90s. That's probably why Griffey only won 1. He probably was deserving of more. I'd have to look back at
you had everyone hitting 55, 60 home runs every year.
The roids. It's good for TV. Love those homers. But, both of these guys, it's just crazy. You can't not compare them. Like, I normally hate comparisons in sports, but they were such similar players, top-notch players, and at that age, it just went downhill. Trout, though, I don't know that he will end up with the counting numbers of Griffey, because, crap. For one, they started...
The longevity's not going to be there.
Doesn't look great, because he's had pretty serious injuries. The knee is one thing, but the back injury, was that 2 years ago, where it's he might not play ball again. His back will never be the same, but he somewhat overcame that, but it could flare up anytime.
Hey, speaking of both counting numbers and comparisons, I'm going to say that someone that Trout's been compared to his entire career would be Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper came up, I think, a year later. I want to say he came
the same year.
I thought he came up the year later.
A year later, yeah.
But anyway, Bryce Harper is a year younger.
Yeah, he is.
So they could have come up the same year, but I think Bryce Harper is a year younger. And they were compared to each other from go.
From the start. Yeah.
They may have been drafted in the same year, maybe.
I think it was a weird deal where Harper was actually drafted first, but he was younger. Harper skipped college. What was he in high school? He was a junior.
Well, yeah, he was one of the best high school players of all time. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
He skipped the end of high school. Let me rephrase that. He was playing JUCO ball as a 17-year-old. Wasn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was stupid young. He had so much hype around him.
Little known fact, he actually went to the same high school as Chris Brown.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, did not know that. See, you get a lot of education here.
Yes, yeah.
People might say useless. I think it's freaking awesome.
They're on the same Little League team.
Are you serious? Wow, look at that. Vegas. It's been a freaking awesome team.
Yes.
Give you that. But Trout came up and he just here's a good one for you. Cardinals knowledge here. Do you know who was drafted by the Angels? Same position. Same draft as Trout. Ahead of Trout.
I actually do know that. He was taken by the same team, like I said. Like
2 picks ahead, I think.
2 picks ahead of him. That was Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, old Randy boy. Yeah, I love him. He's a Cardinal fan. He was fun to watch.
But from what I understand, that was a little bit calculated. I think that they knew that
they could get Trout.
Yeah,
I think
they also knew that they were getting the better player in Trout.
Yeah, but man, if they had missed in that 23rd pick, passed on Mike Trout, got Randall Grichuk. Ooh, but I think you're right. But yeah, he went 24th in that draft. Harper was number 1. Harper had more hype, I think, going into MLB. It's just that first year that Trout came up.
Well, when you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and you're well known for hitting an almost 600-foot home run in high school.
It's that aluminum bat, man. They had a little bit of water in that baby. Slaps that thing
down. Still.
Yeah, that's nuts. He was, and Harper, if I remember, he didn't flop by any means, but he wasn't Bryce Harper when he first came up. He was a solid player. It's 270, 20 homers. Trout, though, came up and was just out of this world. But you're talking where they're at now, right?
Yeah.
Between Harper. Yeah. That's interesting.
Right now, I think that Trout still holds the edge.
As of now, yes. I agree.
I think that, Trout's won 3 MVPs. Harper's won 2.
Yeah.
I think that Harper may not catch him in that. He might tie it. He won't pass him. I don't think he'll win 2 more MVPs.
I don't know. Honestly, these guys still have, in theory, they're both, what is Harper 31, Trout 32?
They're both in their prime.
Yeah, right? In theory, yeah. Dear God, we're same age. This is kind of crazy.
That's generally, they say that the first couple years after 30 is when baseball players are at their best.
Yeah, that's true. You got that experience, you know what you're doing, still can actually get out of bed.
That's when Paul Goldschmidt came up and he did his thing. I think he won. He was 33 when he won his, I believe.
Which that's what blows my mind with Griffey and Trout is like their best years. They were stupid young. Albert, look at that. Like it's across the board. But interesting with Harper and Trout. I mean, started off Trout by a landslide, like way better, and it was like no comparison, but. Longevity, like what Harper won his first MVP, 15, I think it was, and then said 21.
He won it again in 21, yeah.
And look at where he's at now. Like he's had his fair share of injuries, but nothing I think is long term.
I don't think that other than his Tommy John surgery that he ended up having, I don't think that he's missed more than just like a month at a time.
I think you're right. I do. Trout's like not making it through the season.
Trout's missing half the season almost every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
a sad thing because. You'll see Trout has a lot of 15 to 20 home run seasons.
Yeah.
If you look at that, he's probably only played 50 games or 70 games.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. He's still when he's on the field still produces high level. Now I will say
season.
Yeah. His strikeout rate, like there are some some things you look into the numbers like his K rate's higher. His walk rate's lower. Like, there are some things that are problematic.
Is your vision as good as it was when you were 20?
Actually, I had LASIK. So, gotcha! It's better. I'm like fine wine, brother.
How about those reflexes?
We don't need to talk about
How about those knees?
Well, they were never good to begin with, so yeah. Not great. But, it's a given. Like, I think one, and it also helps Harper. I mean, he's playing first base. Trout's still trying to run around out there in center field. And he had Uncle Ronnie, manager this year, like, Steal, go. It was fun, but look at what happened, Ron Washington cracks me up.
That's just how baseball do sometimes.
Yeah, I can't say that guy doesn't do a few lines from here to there. But yeah, I mean, longevity-wise, like Harper's playing first, like he's in a better position. He's on a much better team. I mean, crap. Phillies like that, and that's what might lead you look at the end of the year, like end of their careers. I'm sorry. I mean. Postseason accolades matter. I don't think Trout's resume is going to look very long there. Not great.
No. Harper's not looked. I mean, he went to a World Series.
He's went to a World Series. He's had some big postseason moments. He has. But going forward, that team's amazing.
Right now, when I think of Bryce Harper in playoffs, though, I see his team winning one right after he left.
Washington, yeah. That is a good point.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I'm not going to say that was because of him, but they did. I think, if I remember right, it was like their pitching finally, like Strasburg was finally healthy. Scherzer.
That Soto guy.
Amazing. That does help. Rendon. That's when Rendon liked to play baseball. That helped. Trey Turner. Pretty loaded, yeah.
Well, he's got Trey Turner back.
Yeah, he does, and he's hurt too now. So, yeah. But, bottom line is I think that he has more potential for postseason success, and that could define legacy. Regular season stuff's great, but a lot of it's the rings, what they do when it counts. And Trout, I think he's played, one series, 2 series in the postseason, and it did not go well.
Let's look at milestones, for example. You said that Mike Trout's at, 378? 378 home runs.
Yeah.
It's fair to say he's going to get 400.
Yeah.
Probably next season.
Probably. Yeah, I don't think this season's looking very good.
No, he's out.
He's got
to hit 22 next season to get it. It's question mark that he'll hit 22, but he should.
I think he'll get there. What's interesting to me is how many hits he has. I thought he had more.
It's under 2,000 still, isn't it?
1,648.
Yep.
I think he will get to 2,000, but the fact that we're saying, will Mike Trout get to 2,000 is like, oof.
I think the question is more, will he get to 2,500?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
if you think about it, he's 900 hits away, right?
Yeah, he is.
That's 5 good seasons.
Yeah, healthy seasons.
That's 5 great seasons, really.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I'm saying. He's 32 now. That'd be age 37, given his career trajectory.
I think that I don't know. I don't think we'll get there.
Here, this speaks to how great he is. I have down here 948 walks. So, yeah, he might fall short in the hits category, but my man gets on base.
My man gets on base.
And that's what I'm saying. You look at,
so you're saying he's Kyle Schwarber?
No. Dear God, no. I said his strike rate's getting higher, not through the freaking roof. No, sir. You
said walks, though.
He's almost gotten 1,000 OPS for his career. Like, if you look at the analytic numbers, like the per plate appearance numbers, it's still great. Like, and that's why I think he's first ballot Hall of Famer. If he doesn't take another at bat, I think he's first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think if he didn't take another at bat 3 years ago, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I agree. Yeah, if the back injury did him in, I think he is.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Which I thought that was a real thing for a while.
Well, I did too. We're talking about he went from could be on the Mount Rushmore of baseball. Like, he could have went down as an Aaron.
He had a ton of Albert Pujols comparisons.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Pujols.
Yeah. That was his thing. It's like first 11 years, Mike Trout and Albert Pujols.
Yeah. It was like, oh, but Trout has speed too. Like, that was the difference.
Now it's just be like, maybe what old Albert did is a little bit more impressive.
It really is. It's like when he came back to St. Louis at age 41 and put up the numbers he did. It's like,
he had 22 home runs with us?
Damn right. Yeah, he did. And carried us in the second half.
Yeah.
Like, meant more than just a sentimental aspect. It's pretty
miles
great.
and miles of heart.
Miles and miles of heart. Damn right. And a hell of a swing. It is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it goes from the Mount Rushmore baseball conversation to, like, Hall of Famer. Which, still great, don't get me wrong.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
But it just stinks, because it's like, but it's like you could have been literally, like, maybe the all-time great. He was just an amazing player.
That's still where I'm at. Like,
look at Griffey.
Your Griffey comparison is still very good on that because Griffey, I mean, he's probably still a top 50 player of all time.
Yeah. But what he was on, that trajectory.
We were looking at a top 20. We were talking top 10. I don't think that he. I still have Stan Musial barely eking in my top 10. I do too. I don't think that
might be a little
Griffey
bit of
was there.
Bias.
Yeah.
Well, if he had kept doing what he was, he's there. Like, Griffey ended up, what was it, 600? How many home runs was it? 600.
I think it was. I had the number earlier. 660. I think
it was more than that. That was Willie Mays.
Yeah, you're right.
Under Mays. But irregardless, he ended up 600 and some. Well, look at all the injuries. Like, if he even had half of those years, like from the Cincinnati time on, he's over 700. I mean, we're pushing, like, could be the record. Mm-hmm. It could be a likable guy with the record. Hey, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
that's baseball's sweetheart there.
Yeah, asshole. But it did. It took it from greatest ever to, like, great player. There's the flaw. So, bottom line is now. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the Harper conversation.
Do you think that Mike Trout hits 500 home runs?
No, I don't. No, I really don't.
Do you think Bryce Harper hits 500 home runs?
I think so.
I agree.
If we go to who we think, like, when they're 40, probably in a rocking chair, the way they physically, the end of their careers, we'll say, who ends up with a better total body of work? I think that
when we're looking 7-8 years down the line from now.
Yeah.
The Bryce Harper's 38, Mike Trout's 39.
Yeah.
I think that I think Trout is out of the league in 7 years at 38, 39.
I'm not going to argue. Yeah.
And I think Harper is probably DHing somewhere, still banging. Still banging.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz role.
I could see similarities. Yeah, I really could. I could. Well, and like I said earlier, him moving to first base, like, look at Albert. When he moved from the outfield, third base, outfield to first base.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think that extends guys' careers? Immensely, I think.
Yeah.
When you can go, save the wear and tear in the knees. I mean, Craig
Biggio played forever. He didn't play catcher for very long.
There you go. Nope. About 5 years. No, I was around. Don't think so.
I would say Buster Posey, but, he didn't stick around.
Well, he had a few outlier injuries there. I'll never forget that broken ankle, wasn't it? Slide that just...
The Buster Posey rule.
Yeah. Rightfully so after that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess... at one point in time, I never thought this would be possible, that Harper would be better career than Trout. But if I had to put money on it
at this point, I think it's likely.
I do. And like I said, the postseason...
And I don't think that we're in the minority on that.
No, I don't know. I really don't know where people are at. Hell, let us know. Comment, we get
Trout or Harper.
Start a poll on this, like, when they're 40. When they're 40, who had the better career? That's the way to put it. There we go. So, it's just, like you said to start this off, it's what could have been. Mike Trout. Still grateful for what we've seen from him, the career he's had. He's another one I wish like hell there was some way he could be on a decent team. I do. Get him out of there. Hell, play 60 games and be ready for the ones that matter. Like, I'd love to see him win a ring.
Okay, so we're looking at Mike Trout, probably the last 10 years, has been the guy that kind of carried the torch from being Albert.
Yeah.
Who's that next? Is it Ohtani?
Are you saying the face of baseball? Is that what
you're saying?
Yeah.
Who's going to be that next guy? Is it Acuna?
Right now I think it's Ohtani because of the global reach. No doubt about it. And honestly, what he's doing on the field.
Is it going to last?
Well, that depends on if he ends up in jail.
No, jail is a strong word.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another podcast. I think Golden Goose is safe. But, as far as the face of baseball, like, I think that's been an argumentative case through the years until now. I think, actually in the 2000s, I think Ichiro you could have looked at him as that because of the Japanese influence.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's Otani because, with all
I'm not giving back-to-back Japanese players the face of baseball. I think
there was a gap there. No. Yeah. I think.
Well, Albert and Ichiro actually started the same year.
They did. Man, I don't. If you could say co-faces of baseball, Ichiro, there's a lot of pull.
He did. Yeah.
And right now, I could see your argument for Acuna. I could, but I just think Ohtani brings something. Ohtani brings not just the Japanese part of it, but that Babe Ruth, that pitching and hitting. We've not had ever. Even Babe Ruth, with all due respect, he didn't have the pitching longevity that Ohtani could have. Now he's coming off elbow surgery. We'll see. But right now, I think
he's banging now.
He is. I think hands down he's the face.
Yeah,
I really do.
He's banging.
He's running too. And he's got he's hitting a homer every game. Got 10 steals. He's unreal.
Leads the league in extra base hits.
Yeah, he does it all. He really does. So he probably even does laundry amazing. I don't freaking know. But I think he's a face. That's hard to say through the years who it is. But yeah, that's who. If you're saying who Trout's passed it on to, I think it's Ohtani.
Yeah,
I do. And I think we've seen the greatest.
Do you think the official torch passing was at the World Baseball Classic last year?
I actually think it might have been before that. Yeah, officially when are you saying when he struck Trout out on 3 pitches?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of obvious right there. Hard to argue with that. I think it started before that. I think when everyone realized, oh my gosh, look at what this guy can do, throwing, hitting. I think it was probably 2 years ago.
When you can hit 30 home runs a year and throw 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. When you're Cy Young and an MVP, there you go.
Do you think that's a fun prop? Do you think Ohtani ever wins a Cy Young?
Ever wins one? I'm going to probably take the field and say no. But I think he will do enough as a pitcher to end of the day.
He had to have been the last year he pitched, he had to have been a top 5, right?
I believe so. Yeah, his last healthy year. It's a lot of all the elbow injury issues he's had. What will he be when he takes them out again next year? And also, like I said, I'll always take the field on that. I really will. And
I agree.
With what all he does,
Would I be shocked if he won one? No.
No, I wouldn't either. I think he will do enough as a pitcher from what he's already done and going forward to be noticed when he retires as he was a dang good pitcher too.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole package, what he does, it's unmatched.
Yeah.
Unsurpassed. So, and that's the thing. If Ohtani keeps this up another 5 years, as great as Trout was, he's going to surpass him. He really is. He's a unicorn.
That's the only way to explain Ohtani. Is he's a unicorn. Babe Ruth is his only comparison, and honestly, in the pitching aspect, he'll be better than Babe Ruth ever was.
He might already be there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd have to look at Ruth's numbers, but Ruth didn't pitch.
He has already. I think he's got the same. I think it's actually almost exactly the same. He's tied with Ruth in wins right now.
Okay. Well, there you have it. When they to surpass.
Which Ruth only pitched, I think, 5 years.
I think you're right. I know it was only the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
And then was done with it.
I don't know if he ever pitched with the Yankees.
I don't know. I was thinking about that when he got traded. Was it 1918? 19? I know those Yankees juggernaut
for $100,000 and some theater tickets.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal, wasn't it? Well done, Yankees. So, yeah. Man, Boston must have took a page out of their business. Gotta get one of them in there. Oh, man. All right, well, you got any more to add to this?
No, I think that we pretty much covered it. Is that I think that Trout while he is going to come down as being probably a top 100 player of all time.
Yeah, maybe even 50. I don't know.
Maybe 50.
Maybe.
He will always have that 10-year period where he was the best player of baseball. He was the face of baseball.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to end up being the career that we always thought what could have been, what should have been.
It was great, but it could have been just...
It could have been magical.
Yeah, that's a good report.
Yeah.
There it was. Yeah, it was. So, I think that's it for our Trout talk. Love the guy. Wish it would have went different. Don't worry. We're gonna float back to that Cardinals talk. We're going to rip the hell out of them next time.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they get better and we don't have to. Not looking good right now.
Pitching looks great. Shout out to Dean Keycaffer.
There you go. That's his man. Thank you for listening. Hope you like, subscribe, comment. Tell us how stupid we are if you enjoy it. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. See ya.
See ya.
I like it.